Imagine a world where belief is not just faith, but a calculated gamble. In the 17th century, Blaise Pascal introduced this provocative idea. Pascal lived in a time of deep religious conflict in France. The religious tensions of the era were palpable. Wars of faith had left a mark on European societies. People sought certainty amidst chaos. It was in this context that Pascal posed his famous wager. He was not just a mathematician and physicist, but also a thinker deeply concerned with the nature of belief. His insights arose from a world where questions of faith were not just philosophical but existential. Pascal's wager was a bold proposal. At its core was a question: what if believing in God is a rational bet? Pascal suggested that we weigh the potential outcomes of belief versus disbelief. If God exists and you believe, the reward is infinite. Eternal life, infinite happiness, and spiritual fulfillment await, according to religious traditions. If God does not exist and you believe, the loss is finite. Perhaps you lived a life with certain constraints, or missed some earthly pleasures. On the other hand, if God exists and you do not believe, the consequences could be dire. The potential loss is infinite, Pascal suggested, in terms of eternal separation from the divine. This framework was not just a theological proposition. Pascal was also speaking to the rational mind. He was inviting people to consider belief in terms of risk and reward. He leveraged the language of probability and outcomes. For Pascal, the rational choice seemed clear. In his view, the potential infinite gain far outweighed the finite loss. He painted belief as a practical decision in an uncertain world. This was a gamble with stakes higher than any earthly wager. But Pascal was also pointing to something deeper. His wager illuminated the limitations of human reason. He recognized that certainty was elusive in matters of faith. Reason could take you only so far. It could not fully grasp the divine. This realization was profound. Faith, in Pascal's view, was necessary to bridge the gap between reason and the unknown. He saw faith as a leap, a step beyond the calculable. It was an acknowledgement of the mysteries that lay beyond human comprehension. Pascal's wager is often misunderstood as a simplistic attempt to convert atheists. Critics argue that it does not convincingly address atheism. In their view, a true belief cannot be a mere calculation of odds. Skeptics point out that Pascal's wager assumes just one religious framework. What if other gods exist? What about other religious beliefs? These are valid questions. Pascal himself was aware of such challenges. He did not offer the wager as a definitive proof of God's existence. Instead, he saw it as a starting point, a way to invite contemplation. For Pascal, belief was not merely about rational calculation. It was also a deeply personal journey of faith. He acknowledged the complexities and nuances of human experience. Pascal understood that faith and belief are not static. They evolve as individuals engage with the world and its mysteries. His wager highlights the delicate balance between reason and faith. Pascal suggested that humans are suspended between two worlds, the material and the spiritual. Both are essential, yet both have their limitations. Reason is powerful, but finite. Faith reaches into the infinite yet is often intangible. Pascal challenged us to consider how these two forces coexist. Can they be reconciled within our lives? This question remains relevant today. In a world of scientific advances and technological wonders, the interplay of reason and faith is still striking. Pascal's wager invites us to explore this balance. It asks us to reflect on what we value and how we navigate uncertainty. For Pascal, the mystery of belief was not a problem to solve, but a journey to embrace. He invites us to ponder the nature of our existence and the choices we make. His wager is a philosophical exploration that transcends time. As we delve deeper into Pascal's thought, we encounter more than just a wager. We find a reflection on the human condition. Pascal's insights continue to provoke and inspire contemplation. They remind us that life is filled with uncertainties. Belief, whether religious or secular, demands a leap of faith. It involves trust in something greater than ourselves. Pascal's wager invites us to consider what we hold dear: It challenges us to reflect on the mysteries that define our existence. In the next part of this exploration, we will examine how Pascal navigated the complexities of belief. We will delve into the criticisms and implications of his wager. Join us as we continue to explore the delicate dance between reason and faith. Critics of Pascal's wager often highlight its limitations concerning atheism. They argue that it fails to address a lack of belief in a meaningful way. For many, true belief cannot be reduced to a mere calculation of risks and benefits. Critics point out that Pascal's framework assumes a singular religious perspective. What if there are multiple gods or spiritual paths? This is a valid critique. These questions challenge the universality of his proposal. Pascal was aware of these potential objections. He understood that belief is a deeply personal journey. It is not solely an intellectual exercise. The gamble for faith, in his view, was not just about odds, but about the heart's inclination. Pascal saw belief as more than a tactical decision. It was a commitment to explore the unknown mysteries of existence. Faith, he believed, was an essential part of the human experience. It was a journey that involved introspection and personal growth. Despite its criticisms, Pascal's wager continues to provoke thought. It raises important questions about the nature of belief and rationality. Can reason and faith coexist harmoniously within the human experience? This question is as relevant today as it was in Pascal's time. In a world driven by science and logic, the place of faith remains a significant consideration. The wager invites us to examine this balance. It challenges us to reflect on the values that guide our lives. Pascal's insights offer a perspective that transcends mere religious debate. They speak to the broader human condition. His wager is not just about betting on the existence of God. It is about how we navigate uncertainty and make choices about our lives. It prompts us to consider the limits of human reason. It encourages us to embrace the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding. The coexistence of faith and reason is a delicate dance. Pascal's wager suggests that both are necessary, yet limited. Reason can guide us with logic and evidence. However, it cannot fully capture the infinite or the divine. Faith, on the other hand, reaches beyond these limits. It allows us to trust in something greater than ourselves. This interplay is a fundamental aspect of our existence. For Pascal, the journey of belief was not a straightforward path. It involved wrestling with doubts and uncertainties. It required openness to new experiences and ideas. Pascal understood that belief evolves over time. It is shaped by our interactions with the world and each other. This dynamic process is a testament to the complexity of human experience. His wager reminds us that life is filled with uncertainties. It challenges us to consider what we value and how we confront the unknown. Pascal invites us to ponder these questions with humility. He encourages us to explore the mysteries that define our existence. In reflecting on Pascal's wager, we are prompted to think about our own beliefs. Are they rooted in reason, faith, or a combination of both? How do we navigate the uncertainties of life? These are personal questions that each individual must answer. Pascal's wager offers a framework for contemplation. It is a philosophical exploration that encourages introspection and growth. As we conclude our exploration of Pascal's wager, we invite you to continue this journey with us. In our next essay, we will delve into another philosopher's venture into the mysteries of life and belief. Their insights will offer new perspectives on the interplay between faith and reason. We hope you will join us as we explore these timeless questions. Thank you for listening. In the 17th century, France stood at the crossroads of tradition and innovation. The rise of scientific inquiry challenged long-held religious doctrines. This period, known as the Age of Enlightenment, saw figures like Galileo and Descartes questioning the nature of reality and knowledge. Rationalism and empiricism gained prominence, emphasizing reason and evidence over faith. Yet, the Catholic Church held significant influence, maintaining spiritual authority and guiding moral norms. Blaise Pascal lived amid these tensions. He was a mathematician and philosopher, deeply religious yet intellectually curious. The conflict between scientific discoveries and religious beliefs shaped his thought. The Jesuits, a powerful Catholic order, promoted education and intellectual engagement, but often clashed with new scientific ideas. Meanwhile, Jansenism, a Catholic reform movement, emphasized predestination and human depravity, offering a more austere spiritual vision. Pascal was associated with the Jansenists, which influenced his views on human nature and divine grace. He grappled with the question of how one could reconcile faith with reason in a world increasingly governed by scientific principles. His famous work, Pensées, reflects this struggle, presenting his thoughts on religion, philosophy, and human existence in fragmented yet profound ways. In this context, Pascal formulated his wager. It was not merely a bet on God's existence, but a response to the existential uncertainties of his time. By proposing a pragmatic approach to belief, Pascal sought to bridge the gap between an emerging rational world and the enduring need for faith. This synthesis of ideas would resonate through the centuries, influencing both theological and philosophical discourse. Today, Pascal's wager finds relevance beyond its original theological scope. In the realm of climate change, individuals and policymakers face a Pascalian decision. The wager can be applied to the choice of taking action against climate change. Imagine two scenarios: one where climate change is a significant threat and one where it is not. If we act to mitigate it and it turns out to be real, we preserve the environment. If it is not real, the investments can still lead to cleaner air and technological innovation. Inaction, on the other hand, risks catastrophic consequences if climate change proves true. Another modern application lies in technology adoption. Consider the decision to embrace artificial intelligence in business operations. The wager comes into play when weighing the potential benefits against the risks. If a company invests in AI and it becomes essential, they gain a competitive edge. If AI does not become widespread, they still gain efficiencies. Avoiding AI could mean falling behind if it becomes indispensable. In personal life decisions, Pascal's wager might influence major choices, such as pursuing a new career or relocating to a new city. The decision to take a risk can be framed as a wager. If the change leads to personal growth and satisfaction, the benefits are clear. If not, the experience still offers valuable lessons. These examples illustrate that Pascal's wager provides a framework to navigate uncertainties, urging individuals to consider the potential outcomes of their decisions. This pragmatism continues to resonate, demonstrating its enduring significance beyond religious belief. Critiques of Pascal's wager have emerged, challenging its assumptions and conclusions. One prominent objection is the many gods objection. This critique highlights the wager's limitation in addressing the multitude of possible deities and religions. By focusing solely on the Christian God, Pascal's wager implicitly excludes the possibility of other divine beings. Critics argue that if multiple gods or religions exist, the wager becomes less persuasive. The infinite gain Pascal proposes could apply to any number of faiths, leading to a dilemma about which to choose. Another significant critique is the challenge of genuine belief. Pascal's wager suggests adopting belief as a rational choice. However, critics question if belief can be genuine if it is motivated by self-interest rather than conviction. Philosopher William James considered this problem, noting that belief requires more than a mere decision. It demands sincerity and emotional engagement. If one believes solely based on potential rewards, this may not constitute true faith. These critiques question the wager's validity in encouraging genuine religious belief. They suggest that the simplistic calculus of gains and losses may not capture the complexities of faith and the authenticity of religious experience. While Pascal's wager offers a pragmatic approach, its critics emphasize the importance of addressing these deeper philosophical and theological concerns. Pascal anticipated some objections, yet these critiques continue to spark debate. They challenge us to reflect on the nature of belief and the role of reason in religious faith, setting the stage for further exploration of these themes in modern philosophy. Pascal might respond to critiques of his wager by emphasizing the complexity of belief and the limitations of human reason. He argued that belief is not solely a product of rational calculation. Instead, it involves the heart, which he described as having reasons that reason does not know. This suggests that faith transcends mere logic and engages a deeper aspect of human experience. To those who claim that the wager is a simplistic cost-benefit analysis, Pascal might say that it is not meant to be a definitive proof of God's existence. Rather, it is a pragmatic approach to belief, acknowledging human limitations. He understood that reason alone cannot fully grasp the divine. By framing the wager as a decision under uncertainty, Pascal highlighted the limitations of human reason when confronted with the infinite. Pascal might also argue that the wager is an invitation to seek faith earnestly, rather than a call to blind belief. He believed that engaging in religious practices could cultivate genuine belief over time. This reflects his view that belief is as much about the will and the heart as it is about intellectual assent. In defense of his wager, Pascal could assert that it serves as a bridge between reason and faith. It acknowledges that while human reason has its place, it is ultimately insufficient to lead one to God. By highlighting the heart's role in faith, Pascal affirmed the value of personal experience and intuition in the journey toward belief. This perspective invites a reflection on how faith and reason can coexist in the search for meaning. In modern philosophy, the relationship between faith and reason remains a significant topic of discussion. Thinkers like William James and Søren Kierkegaard have expanded on Pascal's ideas. James, in The Will to Believe, suggests that in certain situations, faith may precede evidence. He argues that belief can be valid even without complete rational justification, especially when the decision is momentous and cannot be postponed. This reflects Pascal's emphasis on the necessity of faith in uncertain matters. Kierkegaard, a precursor to existentialism, also delved into the tension between faith and reason. He posited that true faith involves a leap beyond rationality. For him, embracing the absurdity of belief is a courageous act. This view aligns with Pascal's notion that reason alone cannot encompass the divine. In contemporary debates, the secular world often prioritizes reason over faith. Yet, some philosophers argue for a balance. Charles Taylor, for instance, examines how modernity's focus on rationality has led to a disenchantment with the world. Taylor advocates for a return to a more holistic view where both faith and reason contribute to human understanding. Meanwhile, Alvin Plantinga defends the rationality of religious belief. He claims that faith can be a properly basic belief, one that does not require evidence to be rational. Plantinga's work challenges the idea that faith and reason are inherently contradictory. These modern interpretations show that while the secular world may lean towards reason, the dialogue between faith and reason continues to evolve. It reflects an enduring question: how can we reconcile the two to enrich human experience? In the next section, we will explore the psychological aspect of belief as suggested by Pascal. Blaise Pascal, a 17th century thinker, explored the intricate relationship between faith and psychological processes. In his famous wager, he suggested that belief in God is not solely a matter of rational choice, but also involves emotional and cognitive dimension. Pascal understood that humans often face uncertainty and existential questions that pure reason cannot easily resolve. He proposed that belief in God could be viewed through the lens of a rational gamble. However, this decision-making process is deeply entwined with psychological elements. For instance, the fear of eternal damnation or the hope for eternal bliss can significantly influence one's willingness to believe. This emotional component acts as a powerful motivator, guiding individuals towards faith as a means of achieving existential security. Cognitive dissonance also plays a role. When faced with the daunting prospect of an unknowable afterlife, people might experience discomfort. To alleviate this, they may choose belief as a way to resolve internal conflicts. Pascal's wager brings to light how cognitive biases and emotional responses can shape belief systems, often steering decision-making in directions that strictly rational analysis might not predict. Furthermore, Pascal recognized that belief is not static. It evolves through experiences and reflections. The interplay between faith and reason involves a dynamic psychological journey. This journey includes moments of doubt, reaffirmation, and growth. By examining these psychological dimensions, we gain insight into how belief functions not only as a philosophical proposition, but as a deeply human experience. In the next section, we will delve into Pascal's influence on existential thought. Pascal's wager played a significant role in shaping existentialist thought. Blaise Pascal proposed the wager as a rational choice to believe in God, even amidst uncertainty. This notion influenced existentialists like Soren Kierkegaard and Albert Camus as they explored themes of faith and meaning. Kierkegaard, often seen as the father of existentialism, resonated with Pascal's emphasis on the leap of faith. He argued that faith transcends reason and involves a personal commitment. For Kierkegaard, the act of believing in God required a passionate, subjective choice. He saw life as a series of choices that define one's existence. Pascal's wager provided a framework for understanding these choices as inherently uncertain yet vital. Albert Camus, in contrast, grappled with the absurdity of life. He acknowledged Pascal's attempt to find meaning through belief, yet he questioned whether such meaning was attainable. Camus's philosophy centered on embracing the absurd without resorting to faith. He viewed the wager as a symbol of humanity's struggle to find purpose in an indifferent universe. Instead of seeking solace in faith, Camus advocated for living with the tension between hope and despair. Both Kierkegaard and Camus were deeply engaged with the philosophical tensions that Pascal highlighted. Their reflections demonstrate how Pascal's wager extends beyond theology into broader existential inquiries. By challenging individuals to confront faith and meaning, Pascal's ideas continue to influence discussions on the nature of existence. In the final section, we will synthesize these threads of faith, reason, and human experience. In synthesizing faith, reason, and human experience, we observe a complex interplay that defines much of human thought. Pascal's wager serves as a pivotal point in this dialogue. It suggests that faith and reason are not mutually exclusive. Instead, they coexist in a dynamic tension that enriches human understanding. Pascal argued that the limitations of reason leave room for faith. He posited that reason can guide us to the threshold of belief, but cannot compel it. Contemporary perspectives build on this idea by highlighting the nuanced ways in which faith and reason intersect. Modern philosophers like William James have explored the concept of pragmatism, suggesting that belief in certain truths is justified by their practical consequences. This approach aligns with Pascal's assertion that belief can be a rational choice when considering the outcomes. Moreover, existentialists extend Pascal's ideas by emphasizing personal experience and authenticity. They argue that the search for meaning transcends rational calculation. Yet it is through this search that individuals find their place in the world. Here, faith becomes a personal commitment, informed by reason, but ultimately grounded in individual experience. In a balanced approach, faith and reason are seen not as adversaries but as complementary forces. Each offers insights that the other cannot. Faith provides meaning and purpose, while reason ensures clarity and coherence. Together, they form a holistic framework through which individuals navigate the complexities of existence. This synthesis reflects Pascal's enduring legacy, the belief that the human experience is enriched by the harmonious interplay of faith and reason. In this intricate dance between faith and reason, we find ourselves at the heart of what it means to be human. Reason alone may illuminate the path, but it is faith that often inspires us to walk it. The two together create a rich tapestry of understanding and belonging. For Pascal, this interplay is not merely academic, but deeply personal, guiding us through the uncertainties of life with both conviction and wisdom. As we ponder these themes, let us remember that the true strength of our beliefs lies not in their certainty, but in their ability to grow and adapt. In our next essay, we will explore the philosophy of another thinker who challenges us to reconsider the boundaries of knowledge. We invite you to join us as we continue this journey through the landscape of philosophical thought.